Hi everybody, my name is Angelica from the Math Magician Bookkeeping. I'm one of the students in Bryce's coaching program, and today I'm going to be talking about how to gain clients as an introvert. So I hope that this video helped you out there, and if you're wanting to grow your business and you're wanting more tips on how to reach out to people like through LinkedIn, Facebook, Alignable, all of those things, Bryce has some great tips on that, and that's been one of the number one ways that I've grown my business. So if you want to learn more about that, please click the link in the description below and schedule a free phone call with him. So I may not look like it because I make a lot of these videos and you've probably seen me on here several times, but I am actually a pretty introverted person. I used to be a very outgoing, extroverted person when I was about a teenager, but then life happened. I lost some friends along the way and just kind of withdrew and became more introverted, and so I like to spend a lot of time at home. I enjoy just hanging out with my husband. I keep a very close-knit circle of people around me, and I don't really like going out and talking to people and making a bunch of conversation, so I prefer to just kind of be doing my own thing on my own and not really having to make those connections. But that can be a huge hindrance as a business owner, because one of the things that you have to do is make connections with people, and that is one way that you grow your business, is making those connections. But it can be very anxiety driven. Like, I'm the type of person that I get anxiety from like social interactions, and so it can be very anxiety inducing to have to do that. So I'm going to talk about some of the things that have helped me in my business as an introvert. So let's talk about some of the struggles that we introverts face. So one of them would be talking on the phone for me. It does not matter if I know the person very well, and I actually used to be a receptionist for a very long time, which is one of the most horrible things that I could have ever done as an introvert. But I just absolutely hate having to get on the phone to talk with people. I actually prefer talking on the phone versus texting sometimes, just because I want to just get clear to the point and I don't have time to sit there and wait for responses. But the actual act of having a meeting, having to set aside time to talk to someone on the phone gives me so much anxiety. When I'm in the moment and I'm actually doing it, it's not so bad. But before then, like, leading up to it, I get so anxious and I just literally dread the whole entire thing all the time. It's one of the things that it's just the worst thing in the world for me to do. And then along with that, just talking to people in person. I hate having to come up with small talk. I'm usually not a very small talk person anyway. I usually try to get to the meat and bones of whatever issue it is or what someone wants. I don't like to beat around the bush. You've probably noticed from some of my videos that I usually just get right into it. I know sometimes I ramble, like right now, but talking in person to someone face to face can be very anxiety inducing for me, probably more so than talking on the phone, because at least on the phone I can pretend that I don't care what people are saying, but in person I have to actually react and make my face not show that I don't really care about their great-grandmother's dog that, rolled over and did a cool trick. Stuff like that, whereas it's like, oh, yeah. But that's usually one of the things for me. And so I probably come across very unfriendly at times because I don't typically like to do those types of conversations. And then this also is a struggle to want to set meetings because of the anxiety that comes with it. I cannot tell you how many times that I have just had these meetings back to back to back, dreading them, just dreading, hoping that they would cancel, hoping something would come up where they couldn't do it. But then the longer that goes on and the more we have to reschedule, the worse it just gets. So it's better to just have it over and done with, but that can be very hard to want to have it happen at all, and you kind of get lost in a standstill. But I will have meetings and then just be absolutely 100% drained afterwards. It could be a 10-minute phone call or meeting, and I am still just like, I can't handle it. It drains me so much. So if you're introverted, you can probably relate to some of these. Maybe not as much or maybe even more. So Anyway, but the reality of owning a business is that you need to make those connections. You need to have those meetings. You need to talk face to face and be friendly. And that can be a huge struggle. So let's talk about ways to actually do that. One of them is be conversational with your questions. So if, let's say, you are at some kind of networking event and you talk with someone, be conversational with your questions. Ask questions that you would want to be asked. Like I said, I'm one of those, I want to get to the meat and potatoes. I don't really care about small talk, but I don't mind if someone asks me, what do you do? How long have you been doing that for? So on and so forth. Something I usually like to bring up that's kind of an interesting thing about me is that I live in a school bus, and usually that'll start a decent conversation. I just hate, conversations that don't really lead to anywhere, where it's like, oh yeah, I just work as a bookkeeper, and then they're kind of like, okay, yeah, and what else do you do? And it's just awkward. I hate those awkward silences, and I tend to get just like, all right, there's nothing really more, so I will see you later, and leave it at that. But, ask them about their family life, ask them what they do, try to ask some more meaningful connections and be conversational. Like I said, bring up things that are interesting to you that maybe they'd be interested in. So that is another thing to do whenever you're actually speaking with people. So I hope that this video helped you out there, and if you're wanting to grow your business and you're wanting more tips on how to reach out to people like through LinkedIn, Facebook, Alignable, all of those things, Bryce has some great tips on that, and that's been one of the number one ways that I've grown my business. So if you want to learn more about that, please click the link in the description below and schedule a free phone call with him. But other than that, I hope that y'all enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.